Star Wars Squadron EA can be seen in some ways to be a spiritual successor to the Rogue Squadron series, the last entry having been released back in 2003 on the Nintendo GameCube. Motive Studios certainly went out of their way to create a unique experience, and for those who are a fan of Star Wars will certainly find a lot about this game to enjoy. But it's not entirely perfect, and there are certainly some issues with certain linear elements that, to me, hold this game back from being one of the all-time great Star Wars games that has come out to date. The main story for Star Wars Squadron EA takes place 4 years after the Battle of Endor, and since then the rebels have organized themselves into the New Republic, while the Imperial forces are still fighting to maintain control of their empire. You will follow the missions of two elite squads, Vanguard Squad for the Republic and Titan Squad for the Imperials. With the New Republic gaining momentum against the Empire, they begin work on a secret project called Operation Starhawk that involves the creation of a new kind of weapon to use against the Empire. As the newest member of Vanguard Squad, it will be your job to gain the necessary parts needed to complete Operation Starhawk, while the Imperials send Titan Squad to find out what this new weapon is and destroy it. The overall story is very self-contained, but it does have a number of key cameos that are spread throughout the game. Specifically, Wedge from the original trilogy this time around takes a more commanding role, and Hera from the Star Wars Rebels series is being presented as the primary overseer for Operation Starhawk. While the primary campaign can be finished in about 8 hours, I must say that while the story being told here has enough to get the job done, it's nothing special. I would suggest that anyone going into this game with high expectations to really not expect anything shocking or surprising at most. When it comes to its gameplay, it falls into the genre of a flight simulator, but instead of allowing you to play the game from a third-person perspective as it was done in the original Rogue Squadron games, or even in the more recent EA Star Wars Battlefront 2, this game only allows you to play from inside the cockpit, making this game feel more like the classic Star Wars games like TIE Fighter and X-Wing from the 90s. Now, while only being able to play from the cockpit may not bother some people, it has always been a viewpoint that I personally have never been a fan of, so to not even have the option to switch is something I found disappointing. But keeping the view from inside the cockpit allows one a chance to experience a more immersive experience, and this makes the game perfect for players who want to play this game in VR. I, for one, have never been a fan of VR, but for those who are, will certainly be in for an incredible experience while playing this game. During combat, instead of relying on a standard hub to view all of your options, you actually have the option to view everything on the onboard instrument, which works out really well. You can keep track of your shield and ship integrity, and as you take damage, you will actually see the screen of your cockpit begin to crack. You can also command your squad mates to attack specific targets, protect an objective, or form up to provide you with protection should you find yourself in trouble. You will also have to manage your power output during combat by transferring power between your engines and your lasers depending on what you are doing in combat, whether it be speeding up to get on the tail of an enemy or increasing the strength of your lasers to cause more damage with every shot. Over the course of the game, as you switch between the New Republic and the Empire, you will have access to 4 different classes of ships for each side, giving you a total of only 8 ships that you can pilot, which, if I have to be honest, I found a little disappointing. Before each mission, you will have the option to modify your ship by changing out what kind of lasers you want, or what kind of missiles you want to use, and even switch out the defensive tools that can aid you should an enemy get a beat on you. During the campaign, before and after every mission, you will have the opportunity to speak to your squad mates to get their thoughts on either the upcoming mission you're about to take part in, or how a mission you came back from went. And I have to admit, your squad mates in Vanguard Squad are actually very diverse and actually are quite memorable with a lot of interesting things to say. But I can't say the same thing for the squad mates in Titan Squad, who are all very one-dimensional and aren't very fun to talk to. I can't even remember any of their names now. Once you have finished the campaign, you can then go online and try out 1 of 3 multiplayer modes. Dogfight is a standard 5-on-5 team deathmatch that will see 5 players go up against each other to see which side can get the first to 30 kills. Fleet Battle vs. AI mode has you take command of 4 AI squad mates as you attempt to fight off and destroy the opposing AI-controlled fleet. And Fleet Battle mode is the same as Fleet Battle vs. AI mode, except all the squad mates are controlled by players. As you complete battles and level up your pilot, you can then earn currency that you can then use to purchase upgrades for your ship and improve its combative capabilities. You can also use your currency to change the outside look of your ship, as well as add a few decorations on the inside of your cockpit. When it comes to Star Wars Squadron EA's game design and its attempt to give the player a true Star Wars experience, I must say that the developers handled this department very well. The look, the sound, the music are all perfectly captured, but again, I must say that without playing this game in VR, you really are missing out on a key component to the immersive experience that Motive Studios wanted to create for the player. But with me playing on a 24-inch curved 4K monitor, I still had a lot of fun even without the VR experience. This game runs extremely smooth, even with how fast-paced the combat can get. Visually, you will be very impressed with the level design of each area of space that you will explore, that range from several different space outposts to even an asteroid field with the wreckage of a Clone Wars Star Destroyer, and even a junkyard that shows the remains of a great battle that took place some years ago. However, I wish that there had been a few missions that weren't in space. Some on-planet flying missions really would have gone a long way to giving the mission locations more diversity, but still, this is a beautiful game to look at. Now, to be straight up, Star Wars Squadron is a good Star Wars game. It's not a great game or a bad game, it's a very in-the-middle good Star Wars game. However, it's very, very lacking in content, but I at least give props to the developers for at least acknowledging that this game is lacking in content, because this is certainly not a full-price game. And once you've completed the average 8-hour campaign and then tried out the 3 multiplayer modes, there's not really much to do. I mean, even the amount of customization is very, very limiting depending on how many hours you put into the game. And the one thing that I really do criticize this game for is at least not giving me the option to play this in third person. I'm not really used to playing games from the cockpit, and this game really shows why. I had a very difficult time even keeping track of where I was at any one given time, and heck, if you're not playing this in VR, you're missing a big part of the immersion experience. It is very, very obvious that they built this game to be played in VR. And if you're someone like me who doesn't have the capability to play this game in VR, or even more so, doesn't want to play this game in VR, then you're missing a big part of the experience they intended for the player. Now again, this is not a bad game, but in the condition that it is in right now, there is a much higher chance that I would go out and play just the flight sections in this game, or even more so, I would just go and plug up my old Nintendo 64 and just play the original Rogue Squadron game. I would play those 2 games before I played Star Wars Squadron a second time. Now, if I had to give Star Wars Squadron a rating, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. If you really do have the capability to play this in VR, absolutely pick it up. It's a good sales price for the content you're getting, but I wouldn't expect too much once you finish the campaign and the 3 multiplayer modes. So that is my thoughts on Star Wars Squadron. If you've happened to play this game, be sure to share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. If you happen to enjoy this review, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and press the subscribe button if you happen to enjoy this content and would see more from me. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.